Hello, friend. I'm glad to see you again. My name is Shadow, and every week I do a little show called Psychedelic Television that I stream out to the YouTube universe and elsewhere. Once again, we got a great show lined up for you. Some nice groovy music, some tunes, hang out with friends, and we'll see what's going on in the world of psychedelics, the world of psychedelic culture, entertainment, and events. Um, what I got behind me here is a little boring, so let's put something else. Oh, there we go. So every week we kind of I'm going to try to change it up a little bit this week. Um, just do a few new things, nothing too crazy or out of the ordinary, but we're gonna I'm gonna introduce a few things that kind of venture out of just news and events. Not much. I kind of like the way that it's going. I enjoy doing this. Yeah, it definitely has a public access feel. I'm kind of smoothing over the edges of it, getting used to this, getting used to talking to people, hanging out in my basement by myself, talking and singing and doing strange things. I want to invite you, if you wish, to go ahead and comment. I have the YouTube live event things open, and I usually can catch the comments before too much time goes by. I also open up the Twitter every show. It's going right now, apparently. The address for that is wait, that's a different one. Sorry. So the live psychedelic TV Twitter feed is right there. It's at psychedelic TV. I leave this open throughout the show if people want to cast any suggestions, have any feedback or comments that they want to. A lot of people just like to say they like a particular song, or they. One week I didn't have the link up for the artist, so one of the friends shared the link to The Perfect Stranger, which I will be sharing up here in a bit. Not Perfect Stranger's music. I haven't had time to really contact him, and he's a rather international artist. I'm sure a lot of his music. YouTube has automatic things where they kind of scan the videos and they can detect music, they can detect visuals or copyrighted works, and they're pretty good about it. And I don't want to have to remove a whole chunk of music. It's not so much that a lot of people get away with it, and I think with YouTube, if you're making them money, they kind of turn a blind eye as long as you're not getting caught or in trouble sometimes. I don't know how it really works. I know doing a show called Psychedelic Television, it's really hard to monetize this kind of stuff. And also when you're promoting mostly underground artists and local, because that's who I hang around with, is a lot of people from the Pacific Northwest, so this just happens to be my immediate community and family. The music I'm going to be playing tonight is actually slightly out of that. He's down in California, and he has a group with his friend. And I've known him. I met him on MySpace years and years ago, back when MySpace was a thing. And he's really great, and I liked his music, and I've been wanting to get it on. I heard some recently, and I need to talk a little more directly in here. So before I blab too much, I thought we'd get into the news so that we can get into the good stuff, which is mostly the music and graphics, I think. So let's start with some news. I found quite a few different with psychedelic culture. It's sometimes hard to find. It's not like the kind of news you see on CNN or clickbait type stuff. All right, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad to be on too. I love seeing everyone and knowing that there's people out there watching and tuning in and supporting what we're doing here. And it's a lot of fun. I get to hang out with my beautiful assistant producer, associate producer. She kind of monitors the stream, and she looks cute as ever today. You gotta flatter her a little bit, 'cause It's always good. She works for free, so I can my sexy intern. So the first news I want to get into is I didn't really know this. Here, let me get my little sidebar on because it keeps my head out of the. There we go. Keeps my head out of the news items here. And I figure if John Oliver can do it, why can't I do it? You know. So I didn't realize that Switzerland back in the late '80s for about a 5-year stretch actually legalized psychedelic drugs for therapeutic use, and I think they licensed 5 different doctors and psychopharmacologists. And so for a brief period, they were allowed access to LSD, allowed access to all, unprecedented amount. And as all good things, it eventually had to come to an end, I guess, because when the whole world is having a crackdown on drugs, it's hard to kind of justify, oh, we're just letting these 5 people do it. I think it just got out, and I think they just had a lot of free reign, and maybe some of their colleagues were wanting it too, and it was getting too much attention. I just thought it was interesting. I didn't know that any of the countries of our allies and first world nations had actually done this recently, and that's not that long ago. Another cool thing, I've been hearing a lot about microdosing lately, and it's something I ran across this. I read up on the psychedelic. I wouldn't call them the tabloids, just the magazines and the blog articles, and there's certain sources that I enjoy. I believe this was actually in Rolling Stone, which is, it's surprising. I keep coming across Rolling Stone articles, but apparently what's going on is a lot of people are using just small doses, almost imperceptible, but just enough to where maybe your visual acuity is enhanced. Maybe you're a little more alert and able to stay productive without, a lot of Silicon Valley employees use certain kinds of chemicals to try to be more, if you're more productive, you make more money. And some of them will even use Adderall and stuff like that. And I imagine that would have quite a burnout rate if you're getting really hooked on methamphetamine type stuff and ADHD medications, which really have like an amphetamine effect for most people that don't have those kind of, I guess you call them diagnoses. But because it's kind of unsustainable, they're finding that, hey, maybe if I just take like a tenth of the amount of a dose, enough to where you feel kind of able to get through the day, maybe you feel a little more creative. Maybe you're a little more positive to your boss or whatever. I couldn't imagine, but I guess if it was a small enough dose, would it even be? It'd be hard to know what is a tenth of a dose. I find that very fascinating. And this has been going on for a long time. People like Steve Jobs claim that psychedelics helped kind of give him the insight, sort of an edge of creativity. I've read about other Silicon Valley people. A lot of them do happen to be boomers, and psychedelics were enjoying a huge surge back in those days. It seems like it's making maybe a slight resurgence. People are looking for ways to get an edge, looking for ways that they can boost their productivity in a healthier way than using caffeine and stimulants. So it's cool. This also came up in the news. This was on health.com. And there's been research that's been showing that what is considered sometimes the party drug ketamine, it's actually an animal tranquilizer, I believe. It is on the controlled substances list, but I believe it does have therapeutic use. It is used as an anesthetic. They're finding that it actually treats depression almost instantly. Now, the effects don't last. It's sort of like, if you take Prozac, it'll take a few weeks before it even builds up in your system. And they're finding with ketamine, a lot of patients have pretty much instantaneous results within a 24-hour period. Their depression is substantially lessened, and they're likening that to possibly the dissociative qualities of the ketamine, and the fact that a lot of these drugs, the neurotransmitters, it's almost like getting what a antidepressant does, but instantly. And that's where a lot of, I believe, the euphoria comes. Imagine you're depressed and you want instant relief. I've taken Prozac before, and it was frustrating waiting for it to build up in my system because I was feeling depressed, and that's why I took it. If there would have been something that could have been a little faster, and they're also saying you need it's for therapy, and the results won't last longer than a few weeks. So it's just some patients don't respond well. Let me get the site up. They're saying that some patients just don't respond well to other, maybe they've burnt through all the other, oh, I don't have it up anymore, of course. It's another option in the arsenal, and they're finding it's very effective. So I hope they continue to look into that. I hope people start to continue to take it seriously, that yes, even though these chemicals and substances have recreational and spiritual uses, they also have significant potential for research, psychology, and just general therapeutic reasons for people. So, here's some good news. So the guys I talk about, he started MAPS back in around 85, I believe, 85 or 86, right about the time that ecstasy became made illegal. He's basically the figurehead of MAPS. He's a great guy. I wanted to kind of celebrate, wish him a happy birthday. Anyone that watches the show knows that I kind of give a shout out to MAPS quite a bit. I find them very inspiring, and a big part of what inspires me to keep doing what I'm doing is the hard work that nonprofit researchers and doctors and therapists are doing to try to genuinely help people. So happy birthday, Rick. I hope you had a good one, and I hope you have many more. So the last news item I wanted to talk about tonight. Normally I would share MAPS, but I talk about them all the time, and we're already saying happy birthday to Rick. So now I haven't talked about Erowid before, and most people that have researched things, and it's always important to research what you're doing and to find a site that actually provides legitimate information that comes from a very honest perspective, a very direct and honest perspective. And I'm afraid you don't get that often when there's an agenda that you often get through any government that's affiliated with the federal government usually, or any excuse me. So Arrowwood's been there from pretty much the start. I remember back in the 90s when I first started getting into rave culture, people were directing me to Arrowwood to go check it out. And even back then, when I was just learning the web, basically, they had a presence there. And a lot of people, if it wasn't for a site like Arrowwood where you can go and research, oh, what is this? What kind of setting should I have? Do I need to have people around? Would it be better if I don't? Is this something I could take in a club? What's the dosage? These are such important things, especially when you're talking certain chemicals. If you were to just swallow too much 2CI, you're going to have a really bad time. It's a very small dose. And maybe people are used to other things, and they think, oh, I can just swallow this whole thing down. And that's exactly what happened to some poor dude in Oklahoma. He thought he could he's used to popping pills and thought, oh, I'll just swallow this whole thing. and he ended up having a very bad time. There's I always strongly advise going to a site like Arrowwood, going in. They have a vast amount of resources. They have trip reports. People will share what is a recommended dosage for what they took. They'll share what they took and tell you about the experience. There's a lot of people out there with advanced knowledge, lots of experience, and they're often very eager. You know, a lot of people are very eager to share and try to help people, make sure you're not going to have a bad time. I think anyone who's got a good heart doesn't really want people to have a bad time, you know, so I strongly advise, if there's ever anything you're not sure of, or you run across something new. I know I know I tried salvia one time. It's, as far as I know, it's still legal. I don't know. It was when I tried it, and I didn't research at all. And I wish I would have gone to a site like Arrowwood, because I ended up having a bad time. Not dangerous or anything, but scary. So, and then after I did that, I went and read up on, and sure enough, I went to Arrowwood, read other stories, and I wish I would have done that from the start. So you'll save yourself a lot of problems, a lot of agony if you just take care of yourself. You know, look after yourself, be in a comfortable place, be around people that care about you, and just really, really take care of yourself. Make sure you don't get into sketchy situations, especially if you're dealing with any kind of chemicals. So cool. That wraps up our news segment. Get the little sidebar off there now. See, I make sound effects. Yeah. All right, Twitter's back on. So, I say so a lot. I've been realizing that, you know, when you have a show, you really can notice the things you do. All right. So the first song, I kind of switched them around. I'm gonna play the slightly more upbeat one first. Well, they're both pretty upbeat, but I'm gonna start it off strong, and then we can kind of relax a little bit more out of here. I normally I need a drink. Hold on. No manis today. Drinking chamomile and orange tea. Got to keep the energy up, but also want to kind of be calm. All right. So this is a friend of mine. His name is, my friend's name is Brian, but him and a colleague formed a band called Made of the Moon. And I kind of like that name. I've known him since about, I want to say 2005, so about 10 years. And he's been a musician and really honing his stuff and he's gotten so much stronger over the years. And I went to his SoundCloud, and I was impressed with some of these songs, and I wanted to get him on here and just kind of share them with you. So without further ado, I'm going to get this on here. It is called Khan by Made of the Moon. All right, that was Con by Made of the Moon. It's a project of Brian Castleman. I don't have his friend's name. Shit. But anyway, you can go there. I think it talks about it on their SoundCloud, and there's several great tracks on there. You can go check them out. Highly advise it. Mike, his name is Mike. Yes, my mic's on. I'm getting instructions from the back, so no, I can hear it, babe. If I can hear it, it's coming through. So, oh, she's hearing the delay. That's why. And here I am. Yay, I'm back. So, I I got a tweet from Mrs. Wendy Desjardins, and then I wanted to acknowledge that, and then Mr. Patrick here. Great music and visuals. Thank you, buddy. I really appreciate the feedback. And just letting me know you're watching. I realize only maybe 5 or 6 people typically watch this live tops, and maybe 2 of those are us. I don't know. I know Susan's watching a feed, and it's probably calculating my feed. I can't tell, so. I think, yeah, I usually get stoned before doing events. So I got some extra yummy pot to pot, dun, dun, pot. And there it is. This fine little nugget is called Lemon Haze. I actually remembered to keep it up on the computer too, so I could talk about it. Now this is, of course, a hybrid sativa. It's a hybrid of lemon skunk and silver haze. And I guess they call it lemon because it's got that lemon skunk, but it's got like a lemony, citrus, and sort of sweet are the components of it. And I believe people, they sort of rate it, it's a very happy, apparently it's positive effects, or it's happy, uplifting, euphoric, energetic, and relaxed. I think that's Kira. Hey, Mr. Introvert. So it's mostly happy. See, I must like the dry mouth ones. Apparently this dry mouth's kind of off the chart on this one. Dry eyes aren't too bad. A little paranoid. I don't get too paranoid off pot. You know what makes me paranoid about pot? When it's illegal. And dizzy, and a tiny amount of headache. I would say dry mouth seems to be the biggest negative, but I guess I kind of have cotton mouth right now, but I should probably drink a little tea before I. What was that, dear? Yeah, now that I've read the symptoms, now it's like I'm getting the psychosomatic reaction. Let's check it out. Let's spark it up. Oofda. Oh, that looks like Rob. Ibogaine and ayahuasca have been shown to be to completely reset serotonin. Yeah, I think I read something like that too. Or maybe I saw it in that documentary. It was talking about what makes psychedelics such a fascinating thing to particularly researchers of the mind and consciousness is, well, I say mind and consciousness, but I would lump in psychology. I consider them tied together, which is why psychotherapists and those kind of people are really interested, because a lot of these kind of psychedelics have a unique property in that all human brains are wired for serotonin and serotonin reuptake. So when you look at some of these chemicals, and it's almost like it's perfectly designed, and it can do things that would take who knows how long in conventional psychotherapy. So by holding back these tools from the appropriate channels, we're actually just holding humanity back. We're designed we're designed to be able to use these, because even the guy that founded, one of the co-founders of Alcoholics Anonymous, was really interested in LSD, and until it was illegal, he was a huge proponent of trying to get. He believed that LSD could have been a miracle drug for treating and curing alcoholism, and probably through using the 12 steps in combination with, can you imagine taking LSD if things would have turned out different. Unfortunately, with the way the counterculture happened, is made it really difficult, and I think they've been climbing out of that hole that I would say, the Nixon type folks created. There's a lot of greedy people back then, and they were terrified of psychedelics, and they just set it back. They set the clock back for us, and it's made it very difficult to climb back out of that. Had to. All right, bud. Stella Artois. Yeah, you got to have something, a little relaxant. All right. Yeah, I've heard wonders about it too. I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's something I need to go do, but I I've heard a lot of. I think if it's something you need to do, or if some, Terrence McKenna talked that when the time is right, or when you need it to be there, it'll be there. But if you go around searching, sometimes it just isn't there. I think the nature of some of these especially the plant medicines, some kind of spirit is talking through them, or and I don't think the spirit is going to let you. It's not going to let you hurt yourself, or it's going to make it so uncomfortable that you might actually end up healing by by going through the experience. I don't think there's a lot of abuse potential in many of these, especially the plant medicines. So I've always been fascinated of ayahuasca. What's that? Yeah. Susie's talking about that guides you, but we both are just speculating, kind of. I've known a lot of people that have taken it, and especially ibogaine and ayahuasca, have I would say, almost miraculous addiction recovery potential. And it's kind of ridiculous to keep relying on the systems that we rely on. And especially in the case of 12-step programs, they don't, because it's anonymous, and they don't really they don't have to release the statistics. They're anonymous. So a lot of people don't really know what the recovery rates are of these programs. And of course, they're going to tell you, oh, we have a great recovery rate, and the only people who fail are the ones that can't handle it. Yeah, it's hard to know if it almost feels like, are you worthy or not. But I don't look at it that way. It's sort of a weird circle, and it's not something I necessarily feel like I need to pursue. If it happens, it'll happen sometime. It's just the way it goes. So I'm gonna untwit here for a second. Yeah, I read all those. Thank you, Kira, for your input on. It's really great. I don't normally get as many tweet or more like whether I need. Yeah, yeah, that's sort of how I feel too, man. I'm gonna start. I got maybe like 5 or 6 events here. Well, this one's not an event. I'm gonna start. I had this for the last, but I wanted to. Let me get the little sidebar on there. So I have a buddy. Her name's Brandy Gray, and she's a. Her work is just really beautiful, and I I met her shortly after I started doing visuals here in the Seattle area. I've been doing visuals for a while, but I learned a lot just hanging out with her, seeing how getting used to the Seattle scene. When you're an outsider and trying to get used to a place, so sometimes you just have to kind of go be around the events and kind of see what it's about. Get people need to kind of see your face for a while, sometimes. And I was I was really glad to meet her. She's always been uber cool to me, and I wanted to. She got her website up today. I wanted to share a link. It's not so much of an event as well. I guess it happened today. So this is an event that happened today. Um, go check her out. Her work is beautiful. I'm sure you've probably seen her. If you go look at her, she's got quite a extensive uh, amount of experience doing work for Decibel Festival. Her own work. She's a business owner. She hustles. So go check her out. Her work's gorgeous. She's someone that I admire and a colleague that I enjoy seeing, and I just wanted to put her up there. Go check it out. So December 4th, that's coming right up this Friday. Let me look at this. See. I'm just reading Rob's tweet here. Yeah, it is. It is a medicine. Some people don't agree with that. I don't see what the problem is with calling things medicine. Some people think that's pretentious. I don't. It really is kind of a medicine, and it doesn't have, especially with ayahuasca, it has really no abuse potential. So anyway, I wanted to let everyone know this is coming up on Friday. So if you haven't already got a pre-sale, get one. You're going to save $5 from the door price. And I just found out this morning they're bringing in some actual blacklight type cannons, like professional grade ones that won't hurt your eyes. And so not only is the place going to be lit up with projections, stretch decor, ultraviolet art, 2 international level artists coming in. We got local talent. This is going to be this is going to be amazing. This is the one I'm most thrilled about. Oh, I also wanted to put up, I took it off the thing. I put up Perfect Stranger. I looked for Atmos's I don't know if he has a SoundCloud or I'd put both of them up there. But go check out Perfect Stranger. He's got quite a bit of music up there. At least, some of them will just be a SoundCloud clip of 3 minutes of a 10-minute track, but you get a great feel for the music. You get to enjoy and there's both of these guys are going to be there. It's going to go pretty late too. Uh we're going to see how late it goes. Brian Enoch and Luke Mandala are opening it up. And then these guys are going to take us through the rest of the night. So it's going to be at Rebar. I highly recommend it. I'm going to be doing visuals there. And so these other parties, I'm not going to be there, but I wanted to support. Perfect Stranger's coming off automatically. Thanks, guys, for your input. I'm going to take the Twitter off for a second and then put it back on. So get back. Let's see. So I've done some events. Opulent Temple is they're sort of like a burner crew that has little outposts around here, and they also have their main one in the Bay Area. Um, I've done visuals for them a few times. They're going to be right around the corner at Kremwork the same night, so I thought I'd let you know about that too. That's that same night as well. Monkey Loft celebrating their 2-year anniversary. So there's lots going on December 4th. I covered most of these last week, so I just wanted to run through them again. Now, on the next day, some of us might be getting abducted by aliens. I might be doing visuals on a mothership of some sort, but for anyone that's not going to be on the mothership, there's this option, which is all tied up on December 5th at the Monkey Loft. And this one's got, let's see, Carl Kamakahi, Michael Manahan, I can't read that, Sean Swanky, and Tyek Collins. So you got all that going on. There's quite a few events coming up. And that's it. I think I switched Brandy around. I was going to talk about her last, but put her first. All right. I like news and events. It's fun. So we're going to put on our final track for tonight. It's by the same guy. It's Made of the Moon. Oh yeah, we're going to play the more... Oh, I've had that weed up behind me the whole time. Shows how stoned I am. It is pretty, There's nothing wrong with looking at weed. I'm just so stoned I didn't even, I guess, pay attention. Okay. So this second track is a little more mellow. It's going to take us out. I don't normally play stuff that has lyrics, but I thought these were kind of soothing. Heard I was doing for a SciSec show where SciCraft is opening for Coxbox. That would be pretty sick, dude. I definitely, I've been liking, Coxbox is some artists I like from back in the day. I don't know what they've done since about the late 90s, but so I'm gonna get Brian's second one. So this one's called Everything's Just Happening. It's got some acoustic guitars, a nice kind of mellowness, and we'll just take you out of here tonight. Something smooth. I like the power of really smooth music. I keep forgetting to turn my mic off during the. That's called Everything's Just Happening. Happening, man. By Maid of the Moon. Ah, don't you feel a little. Doesn't that feel better? Oh, yeah, I should probably look at the camera too. So I want to thank you for another great week. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I had a good time. It was relaxing and fun. Thank you for tweeting in, you guys. I'm gonna. I may take a break some point in December, but I haven't decided yet. I'm still getting things sorted out and figured out. Obviously, I kind of don't post my show until the last minute. It seems so. But I'll let people know. But I hope you do. Even if I do take a little break, I hope you do continue to keep coming back every Tuesday until that doesn't work. So we'll see. Um, if there's a better day, that I think I already went through this. Tuesday seems like the best day, and I'm getting kind of used to it. So we'll see. But thank you for coming here. Thank you for being here. I'm glad to be here. And I'm going to close out now. So, sayonara and good night.